All right, here we go. Get ready to have a good time. This is exciting, isn't it?
All right, we're on. Hello, testing.
Welcome aboard the Dreamliner.
It's the only way to fly.
Spartans! What is your profession?
Podcaster? Podcaster?
Garry.
Here's a young speaker who is really in demand.
Don't let that go to your head, Garry.
But wait, there's more.
That's what I'm talking about.
He's Garry Meier.
It's the Friday the 13th edition.
Okay, enough of that. It's the Friday, May 13th, 2022 edition of the Garry Meier Show Cocktail Hour Live.
Cocktails, woo, drinks.
Streaming live at 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 Central, 4 Mountain, 3 Pacific, and so forth. Of course, no matter where you are, it's time for a digital mimosa. As always, we recommend YouTube as the best platform to stream the GarrForce Cocktail Hour live, or at your convenience. Subscribe to the GarrForce Live YouTube channel and hit the bell icon to be notified when we're live. Like and share the show on all of the social media channels, and know that during the live show, we can see your comments on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch, which means we may show them on the screen and or talk about them. Now, fasten your seatbelts, it's time to go wheels up on the GarrForce Live.
Hey, thank you, Alan. Welcome, everybody. This is the Commando version of the cocktail show, meaning no guest. And a number of people have commented already about how they like going Commando once in a while with the show, either with no guest and Commando when they watch the show, or just sitting back as Jane is. She's on her patio in Geneva. That's a good thing to do when you have a cocktail. So here we are. We're all ready to go. Friday the 13th so far has been a good day. Nothing has gone completely awry in my world. And I don't expect it to be any different in the next hour. We're just going to have a good time because that's what we should do. I don't know why we have to worry about everything every week, every day, because it doesn't do any good. Now, if you're in the stock market, you've been worrying probably. And you should not be looking at your 401k. Let's kick is that the stock market, or should I kick the tires and light them up?
I went right to the fire with the stock market.
That's the stock market. In fact, the stock market has been declared the best roller coaster ride of the summer. Get on, put your hands in the air, grab your ankles, whatever you got to do it. But don't look at your 401k or your stocks. I don't know why people do that. When I invested in a few stocks years ago, the broker said, listen, do not look at your stock every day. In fact, don't look at it for 5 years. I don't want to be hearing from you every week if it's going down or whatever. Don't look at it for 5 years. There's your advice. Let me go to the screen door. And do I have it right? I think I do. Let me take a look who's here.
No. The T goes down. There you go.
Okay. Right. Whatever. All right. Marianne J. She loves going Commando. David R. He says, put some fresh air on the schnauzer with the nice weather out there. Dale F., Daniel, Gregory from Arlington Heights, Illinois. I believe Arlington Heights is where the fine comedian Sebastian Maniscalco is from. Did you take an Uber? And Johnny from Michigan. We're going to show in a few minutes here Johnny's closet full of hats. Jane, I mentioned Rosemary, Anthony, Cindy's in Honolulu, our 50th. And when you go to Hawaii and people there say, where are you from? Don't say the United States. Don't say that. They don't like that. And Sarah and Martin from British Columbia checking in. You got Doug. Yep. Oh, we got, and they're checking in there on the comment section if you want to do that. If you want to talk on the show, just notify producer Keith in the comment section and say, I'd like to flap my soup coolers on the GarrForce live cocktail show, and he will route you through. There's the number, 773-888-2157. But the show doesn't really start until Leslie unrolls that condom off her
Hey,
wine
hey.
bottle. Hey, now.
You know, I was just thinking about it. Where we grew up is like the birthplace of some serious ass comedy. I mean,
And where
Maniscalco,
Maniscalco.
all those Belushis, the John Mulaney, you.
Okay. You, bada beep, bada boop,
You.
bada. Yeah. Okay. And there it is. What kind of wine you drinking?
It's a flat top Chardonnay. It's kind of becoming my fave.
All right.
But, and
Roll
we
it off.
definitely.
Oh, look at that. Oh, nice
Ooh.
bounce. Nice tip. Here we go. Oh,
Ooh.
wow.
Hey.
That could take an eye out. We will be giving away, or more specifically, Leslie, through her generosity, will be giving away that condom in a package, not that one, and a hat that she got when she was on the show The Weakest Link.
Still has the tag on it. Never been worn. So
Never
it's
been
clean.
worn.
Yep.
Okay.
It's there for you. There you go.
Those two
I
items.
mean, how many other podcasts are giving away super cool shit like this? And we got some extra super cool stuff too, huh?
Yes, listener Jeffrey emailed me and he said, my wife and I were going to see the McCartney years at the Arcada Theater in St. Charles, Illinois, but we can't go. And I'd like you, if you want to give away the 2 tickets for tomorrow night to a listener. So we'll do that as a second giveaway. If you're in the, I don't know if it's the entire Chicago area that wants to participate, because you got to be in the St. Charles area, I would imagine, to make it freeway close and all that. So if you want to, we'll tell you what to put in the queue to win those 2 tickets. Now, I was not familiar with this event, and he sent me a promo, and it looks really good. If I could go, I would go. It's a band that's replicating the McCartney music from the Beatles and Wings and his solo career. And what I saw, the lead singer is dead on, as is the rest of the band. And if you're a Beatles McCartney fan and live in that St. Charles area, you could be going tomorrow night. And here's the deal. We'll give you the tickets electronically, so they're going to be in your phone, whatever.
Right.
You don't have
So
to
you're
go
not
pick
meeting
them
up at a tollway oasis or anything
Exactly.
like that, trying to pass these things up.
Exactly.
You know, I just saw somebody posting on my Facebook page that they just had a conversation with a young person who didn't know who the Beatles were. So we've hit that point, kids.
Yeah, get ready. As we march on, and in time, there are generations that are dropping off as far as their knowledge of what we have. And we did this with our parents. They mentioned somebody, I didn't know. And I had that moment a number of years ago when I mentioned Martin and Lewis in front of my wife's then 18-year-old niece, and she looked at me, who are Martin and Lewis? And boy, that hit you like a ton of bricks. And you got to be careful. Listen, there's a generation now that might not be all familiar with 9/11 because it's 21 years ago. And if you were born in 2001, and by the time you're 5 or 6, you started hearing rumblings, but it's not in your repertoire as far as, oh, what a memory.
It's like when I watch the Grammys and you realize like Kesha is now an older performer. I'm like, freaking Kesha's older.
I know. Listen, it hits you and you have to, it'll knock your wind out. It really will. And I was talking to a friend of mine who I worked with in radio, and he said the 90s are 30 years ago.
Well,
that's a
exactly.
format now. That's an oldies format, the 90s.
Yeah.
All right. Why?
I don't. This is why we drink. Oh.
Right. I don't know. The Beatles. Okay. Yes, everything's generational. And the 15-year-old of today, in 20 years, he'll or she'll mention something, and somebody's going to give him the weird eye. I don't know what you're talking about.
It all comes back to
As
bite.
Brian says, Elvis who? Yeah, Elvis. He's been dead 45 years.
He just got resurrected in a new movie. So, you know,
Okay.
everything old is new again.
Hey, cheers. This is what it's all about, just having a drink on a Friday. All right. We gather before the show. Would you like a mimosa? For a half hour to get acclimated if there's a guest, to get them ready and all that. And we got there at 5:30, 4:30, whatever time zone, 2:30, 3:30. And it seemed like the half hour evaporated in about 2 minutes. And we think it might either be Friday the 13th doing something, or did you see the picture of the black hole. And that was from telescopes that is not the Webb. That was a group of telescopes that found this black hole. And they said that's where everything began. And I'm looking at this picture in that hole. What does that mean?
Wait, I thought that's where everything ends. Aren't we all supposed to get sucked in there and
Yes.
stretched like spaghetti? But like you said, I think maybe we should stop looking so much.
I know. You can't make, you talk about people don't know who the Beatles are. You talk about how fuzzy that is. Try to mention the beginning of time and how all this started and try to wrap your brain around that.
On the other hand, Elon Musk this week said that within the next few years, we'll have 1 million people on Mars, and they'll probably be effing that up too. So
1 million people on Mars. Yeah. Okay. Speaking of the stock market, The Wolf of Wall Street, if you've seen that movie, it's in rotation, I believe, on Showtime or one of those channels. And it's one of those movies where I got to watch it because it's just unbelievable. It's a reflection of the fun times of yesteryear. Here we go again. It's set around 1980 when Wall Street was a complete cocaine shit show. And they were just living the life. And I got to give you a line from the movie. And Matthew McConaughey plays Mark Hanna. And they're talking about the stock market. And he says, yeah, it's Fugazi, it's Wazi, it's Woozy, it's fairy dust. It doesn't exist. It never landed. It is no matter. It's not on the elemental chart. It's not fucking real, right? Yeah. Number one rule of Wall Street, nobody, I don't care if you're Warren Buffett or Jimmy Buffett, nobody knows if a stock is going to go up, down, sideways, or in fucking circles, least of all stockbrokers, right? There you have it.
Wow.
Yeah.
How prescient is that?
Oh, my God. And history repeats itself as we watch this thing. And you said you looked at your 401k and went right for the bottle.
It's a 301k right now. It's heading toward a 201k if it keeps going this way.
What are you going to do? Would you sell or pull or whatever? I mean, what can you do?
No, you can't do anything.
Right.
And except maybe set up my OnlyFans page, or I get out there with a cup at the busy intersection down the road a piece and a cardboard sign. I mean, who, like we always say, at least the front of our house isn't blown off today. So it's all good.
Go with its relative. You think about those people in Ukraine, much better here.
There you go.
I might have to have
liquor.
You got liquor. I might have to have financial analyst Terry Savage on to give us the 411 and all this financial erotica. And she cuts right to the chase. And I would imagine she's even looking at this and thinking, okay, hang on, but always bet on America. Again, where else do you want to be right now in the scheme of things? Here we are. This is where we want to be, right? This country. Good. Great. Everything's
Terry
good.
is always good about talking us off the cliff. Yeah, there you go.
There it is.
America, baby.
There it is. And if you're in Hawaii, remember, that is the United States. Don't say the United States when a native asks you where you're from. Say the mainland. Yeah. Okay. And people do that. When we would go over there, where are you from? And we hear people, United States. Boy, they hate that.
They kind of hate us anyway. If you say you're from the mainland, they're like, okay, Howley, get up.
Well, they
Go
do.
home.
You're really right on that one. Get this experience. We're flying into Honolulu, and there were a number of Japanese people on the flight. And as we're going over Pearl Harbor, they're all snapping pictures. And I'm thinking, wait a minute. And that's not good. No. Don't take any pictures. No. That was weird.
Well, and if you go to Pearl Harbor, I guess they haven't been doing it lately because of the pandemic, but you used to have to sit down in a theater and watch like newsreels of what went on there. And you look around and there are a lot of those tourists there too. And you're like, but we're all good now.
Yeah.
It's
We're all one,
history,
right?
kids. Yeah.
Forgive and forget. Another weird experience like that. This happened, Ellen, at Disney World and also in Chicago, where we went to an aquarium, or we went to, in the Disney World case, we went to a restaurant that was attached to an aquarium, and they have fish on the menu. and we ordered fish, and they have these big windows right next to your table. And as we're eating, the fish are swimming by weeping. And I'm thinking, why did you? And this happened at the Shed Aquarium in Chicago, where we went to lunch in the aquarium. They have a restaurant, and they've got fish on the menu.
Fish sticks. Yes.
That's wrong. Another wrong thing.
Oh,
Don't do
God.
that. Damn. World is weird. Weird stuff. Okay. I mentioned Johnny's closet. You want to take a peek into his closet? Alan, you want to rack that up?
It's
Sure, I
not
was
like
actually-
Victoria's.
I'm looking for it. I had it.
And he has
There
a
it is.
hat collection, and he sent me a picture, and I said, do you mind if I show this? Okay. How many times do you think he's worn any of those hats? And Johnny, you're on the queue here. Why don't you call in and explain how many hats you have? And
You know, a lot of people want to call in. So
yeah, Philip wants to
773
call in. Philip wants to call and talk about a lottery story. Philip, okay. Keith, tell him what he should do.
There you go.
Text the text number there, 773-888-2157.
Text it, and then Keith will guide you in to be on the phone.
I'll be your call Sherpa.
Yes, you will.
Like that air traffic controller who talked the guy in the private plane, even
Right.
though he had never sat in a cockpit before.
He was flying the plane because the pilot passed out, and there were two passengers on this private plane, and the passengers didn't know how to fly a plane. So the air traffic controller guided, as we see in movies, guided him in, and he landed the thing safely. And we were talking about this, if you haven't heard this show yet, where do you have to know how to fly a plane to be an air traffic controller? I know it sounds like it's soup and sandwich. It should happen, but really you shouldn't necessarily know how to fly a plane. You just have to land them from a
you're
distance.
looking at computer screens. I did hear some of the video, and it's like, keep the wings level. And I'm thinking, well, yeah, but how do you do that? I assume
Right.
it's by, trying to play
Right.
video games up there, but oh boy.
Yeah. And that is also a moment that's been featured in TV shows and movies. And okay, that's why I try to stay away from the private plane.
Right.
I want two guys in
But-
the cockpit.
You weren't
Or-
one of those radio guys who had to go and get your pilot's license
Yeah.
so you could start talking with the other guys around the
Yeah,
station.
right. A lot of radio guys have a pilot's license, or they have a motorcycle, or there's something that's compensating for their manhood. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. A lot of guys. Or if they don't do that, they play golf a lot. That's the
Yeah.
other component for a lot
I
of
got
radio
this
guys.
big stick in my hand.
Yeah.
And yeah, now
Yeah.
I got a spaceship.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a pilot. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And the fact is, we have a story out of Chicago many years ago where a radio guy decided to fly up into Wisconsin from Chicago to get a cheeseburger and fly back. That's what these guys do. I would imagine that the private pilot, 90% of that is joyriding, like motorcycles. Isn't motorcycling mostly joyriding?
I would think so.
Yeah. They just have to go from someplace to someplace to get on the motorcycle. And usually it's a bar that accommodates motorcyclists. So they all get together and then they can go somewhere. They have to have a point B. And that's the same thing with private pilots. What do you need to do? If you don't use it for business, what are you doing? You're just getting up there and flying around. So they look for these places where they can go and have lunch. And then they come back, and that's what that guy was doing. And he collided with another plane. And
that
here's
was
the
rough.
ironic part. He landed in a hospital.
He landed on a
Okay.
hospital.
Well, on, in, something like that.
Oh, God,
Yeah.
it was very sad.
All right. Ellen, who is our caller?
We've got Johnny from
We've
Michigan
got
on the
Johnny.
line. Let me
Here's Johnny.
Let me plug him in. All right, I think
That's
he should
what
be
she
plugged in.
said.
Johnny, you there? I'm not hearing anything. How about you guys?
Nope. Not a thing. Just the tinniness in my head.
I've got the line in the show, but I'm not hearing anything.
That's
Is it
rough.
Johnny's fault?
No, it's probably Keith's. Let's blame Keith.
That's nice.
It's a software issue, I'm sure.
On whose part?
Let's go to Keely-Ann's comment that was
Keely-Ann.
shared
She
before
said
the show.
She did check in last week.
Oops.
And here it
Take the
is
banner
that we
off.
missed. I posted the previous 2 weeks. Let's see if I can remember one of them. I tried spotted dick the other day. I didn't care for the taste, but my schnauzer couldn't get enough of it. That's why I don't want to ever miss a week without a Keely-Ann comment.
Oh my God. I have a can of spotted dick down in my kitchen that I've had there for it's got to be 15, 20 years old now. But
ladies and gentlemen, that's all code. That's all code. Everything she said is code. Johnny, what's the problem?
We don't have Keith in the show. Let me see.
Oh, Keith's gone now. Wow.
Keith's here. He just does now. He has his thing on mic. Let's see if he. Johnny, we have you now.
Suddenly, Friday the 13th has come about.
It has happened.
Wait.
Oh, I hear something.
Oh, are you there?
There he is.
You there, Gary?
Yes, I can hear you, Johnny. I can hear you.
Hey, good. Yeah, my hat collection. My hat to be at least 10 or 15 years worth of hats.
How many?
I have no idea. I lost count.
And how many do you really wear out of that bunch?
It depends on what I'm feeling like. If I'm going to a baseball game, I'll wear a baseball hat. If I'm going to work, I wear my community college hat around on the bus and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I'll be adding to my collection next week. I'm going to New York.
And if you're not familiar with Johnny, Johnny will go to New York, stay in a decent place, have meals, and spend all of $55, including transportation.
Yeah, I'm going to the Harry Potter store. And I'm supposed to see Harry Potter and the Cursed Child.
And is that on the schedule, or you just think you're going to see that?
That's on the schedule. I used my stimulus check from last year to pay for my train ticket.
Oh God, this guy's a TV show. Please, somebody make a TV show with this guy. He's gold. He's gold, Johnny, gold. I don't think that's legal.
Gary, can I say something?
Yeah.
I got a C- from my communications class this semester.
A what minus? C?
A C as in Charlie minus.
Is that good?
Yes, it's good. I passed the class.
That's all that counts. Actually, C- in the radio business, that's pretty much killing it. Yeah,
you could be the morning man at any number of stations.
Exactly. You're qualified to go right to work at a 50,000 watt something or something. Mm-hmm.
Yep. My GPA average is 2.596.
Okay. That's what my gas is on a good day, but that's long gone. Yeah. Hey, Johnny. I want to ask him about these hats. I can't imagine that the hats in the back of the ones we see that he's touched since he put it on the back of the shelf.
Some of them are dusty, I'll say.
Yeah, I'll bet they are. Can I ask you about your living quarter? Can I ask you about your living quarters? Are you in an apartment? Where do you live?
I'm in an apartment.
And you're by yourself?
Yep.
And is it a studio, one bedroom, three bed?
One bedroom.
Okay. And boy, two closets.
I got two closets and I got a cupboard closet.
A what closet?
Cupboard
closet. Okay.
Cupboard.
Here's the dealio. One of the closets is just hats. Is that a good use of that space?
Yep. I got to pay for them.
Okay, so I'm going to put the TV show together as we speak. So the show opens with a tight shot of this closet. And then it pulls out into the apartment, and Johnny's sitting there going through his itinerary to New York City and seeing Harry Potter and the quilted egg or whatever he said he's going to see. And then the Cursed Child. Is that a restaurant? What is that?
That's a play on Broadway.
Oh, okay.
Well, now will you get a hat having attended the play? Will you get one of those as a souvenir?
When I go to the Harry Potter store, I will get a hat from the Harry Potter store.
Okay, so this is going to be like Mr. Rogers then, right, Gary?
Yes.
So at the end, he takes off the hat and puts it into the closet?
Yes, exactly. And that's where it will stay forever because he's trying to rotate the hats, but he never gets back to most of them.
Oh my God. Johnny, seriously.
Yeah,
Hey, I have to talk about something. Johnny, thank you. I think we're having a little delay there, but I got to talk about something. We last week talked to Susan from Weigel Broadcasting, and they own MeTV, and there's a show on MeTV on Sunday evenings that talks to collectors. And we've had, okay, that was my effort on Weigel, my one and only, a one-off. I'm like, okay, I'm like Harper Lee of television. I did one. I don't need to do another one.
To Kill a Mockingbird.
Exactly.
And in 50 years, you'll have.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's time to.
Well, I figured I did it all in that show. There's nothing more to do like Harper Lee. What am I trying to prove? Okay. But what?
I think people could appreciate you very differently these days.
Yeah.
I mean, you invariably have been ahead of your time on so many things, but between you doing a talk show and then Johnny doing his travel show,
yeah.
I mean, we multiplied their audience tenfold, I'm thinking.
I'd have Johnny on every week doing a little feature. He would be remember Mr. Bill from Saturday Night Live, that little clay? Yeah, he would be my, hello, everybody, hello. Oh, my closet of hats. Oh, okay, I got a show. I'm going to call Susan, and then she can transfer me to the guy that runs the place, Neil. And okay, the reason I'm bringing this up, I saw a promotion for this Sunday's show, and these people that collect, and we've had Bill Leff on with his collection, and it's fabulous, and Greg Potter. This one they're promoting, this guy collects, it's not a theme, it didn't look like, and there are shelves and shelves of fans, of table fans. And I'm thinking, fans.
Creating fans. Okay.
Fans. And just an eclectic combination of other stuff that this guy thinks he needs to have in his room. I don't know what you do with this stuff. I'm sorry, but after you've put it up there and now you got to dust all this stuff, or maybe you don't, what do you do with it?
So we're talking borderline hoarders have now weaseled their way into this program. I mean, because isn't that really? I have bed frames. What do I have? I have a bunch of bed frames out in the garage.
These are hoarders with shelves.
Okay.
Whereas hoarders just throw it on the floor. These people have shelves and cabinets. That's the only difference. And again, no offense to Bill Leff and Greg Potter. Theirs are nicely kept. I just don't know. First of all, don't have the room to collect anything. Right. And I get claustrophobic real fast if a lot of stuff's in a room, so I can't do it. I don't know what they get out of it. Once you see it, what do you do?
But secondarily, then what do you do with it? Like you were saying, because to be honest, I've had this discussion with my daughter recently about things that we've been saving that I consider, family mementos, and these are the family collectibles. Here's the silver, here's the china, and she's like, "Yeah, can you get rid of that so I don't have to?"
Yes. Yeah, that's the word from the kids. Don't keep this stuff because I'll just have to get rid of it after you're gone, and I don't want to do that.
It'll make me feel bad, yeah.
But there's a show every Sunday on MeTV featuring these people, and there must be a lot of these people that collect stuff. And I'm trying, and please, if you do collect, tell me what the fizz is, and I'll listen. I'm not condemning. I just don't get it because it's a lot of stuff, and after you look at it. Okay.
we kind of run the opposite end of the spectrum. We're more the Marie Kondo. Thank you for your service, socks. I'm throwing you away.
Yeah, you're talking to the anal club here, Leslie and myself. My God, we can't clean anymore before we go through the wood into the center of whatever furniture, floors or whatever, because it's all clean all the time in our head.
Okay, something that you and I kind of were, we kind of like to workshop a lot of ideas that don't necessarily make it to air, but I don't think you've ever mentioned the store that we were thinking of producing, the one for anal people, and it would be like vacuums and organizers, and
Everything,
it would be
everything you would desire to make your life spin in a Zen atmosphere all the time. And only those of us who are super anal, and there's a mock-up of what it might look like. All the stuff that gets you off on cleaning. And we're a weird breed. I admit it. You admit it. It's not for everybody. But I'll tell you what, it does make me feel good. And I know it makes you feel good when you're done. There's something about it that gets the juices going.
Well, and I hate to, steal the line, but Garry came up with the idea. We'll call it the Containal Store.
Containal. It's the Containal Store for the anal people out there. I washed the car the other day, and this particular car wash has an incredible vacuum. You got to have a good vacuum, and it's sucking every little thing, every little fiber up. And then you go through the car wash.
Dog went missing for a while, but he got him out of the container.
And maybe I'm different, but I drove away and I got a chubby. I mean, the clean car, the mats, everything's clean. Oh my God. All right. I'm a weirdo. So what? I'm hurting no one.
Hey, Garry, we have Philip from Stephenville, Michigan on the phone.
Is this Philip who's going to talk about a lottery story?
Philip, are you there?
Yes. You there?
Hey, Philip.
Yeah. Hello.
How you doing?
Hey, I've listened to you for many years, and you've always talked lottery stories, but now this is going to go to the other end of the scale.
Okay.
And last Saturday, in the Kentucky Derby, my partner and I were watching the race getting lined up, and as the horses were going through, for some reason, I said, number 21 is going to win. And my partner says, there ain't no way. Ain't no way. And I says, you want to bet on it? And he said, sure, let's bet on it. I says, no, I'm going to go to the website. I put $100 on the horse. And ended up the horse won. It was over $8,000 was the payout. But here's the kicker. The horses were already in the lineup in the gates, and they didn't accept my bet.
Really?
And you want to talk about a kick, and you know what?
Oh my God! Yeah, we talked about this. If I ever bet on these, go ahead.
Go ahead.
All right.
I never thought that.
You owe me a Coke. I always bet on the long shot because that's the only thing that pays.
Exactly. And I thought $100, not that I got money to burn, but I thought, oh my gosh, I just looked at that horse and I looked at my partner and I'm like, that horse is going to win. He looked at me and he says, no way. And it won. But I didn't get it in time.
Yes, horse racing.
$80,000.
Yes, horse racing is like the stock market. It's fugazi, it's wazi, it's woozy. Nobody knows. It's just whatever.
You're doggone right. Yep.
Yeah, it's chance. Just throw money in, and if you can afford to lose it, then fine. But otherwise, don't. $8,000.
And I wouldn't have done that other than I was so confident.
That's how I pick horses, just by the name and the odds.
You'd like that story.
Yes, thank you, Philip.
Yeah, exactly.
I look at the name of the horse and then the odds, and that's it. I don't have any other information. I don't care about any other information. I just want to put a few bucks on, and if it wins, then you get some payment out of it. If it's the favorite, you got to put a lot of money in to get anything out of it.
Exactly. And I just, there was something about that. Like you said, something about it. I bet on it. And unfortunately, my bet didn't go in. Of course, there might be some kind of scam with that, but whatever. I'm not talking about that. But anyways, it was just, I thought you'd like to hear that story. You know, we hear all these stories about people reading license plate numbers and stuff, and they win money on it. So.
I know. It's a crapshoot. Yep.
Oh, well.
And
Should
that's
we
what.
set up?
Wait a minute. Thank you, Philip, because it takes a little going back and forth to get a cohesive conversation. I think I'm going to open a water park called the Crapshoot because so many diapers come off in those water parks. I'm just going to call it the Crapshoot.
You get some adults in there too. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
Should we set up one of the giveaways?
You want to?
I think we should probably do the tickets first. That seems like a nice thing to do.
The McCartney tickets, if you're in the St. Charles, Illinois area, this is something you might want to try to get. And we're going to use the hashtag MACA. That's what Paul's called in circles. MACCA. Hashtag MACA. MACCA. And that's tomorrow night at the Arcada Theater.
And we'll open this up to anyone. If you've won a magnet, if you've won a
this is for everybody.
But you got to be able to use the tickets.
Yeah. And they'll be electronically transferred to you. So as soon as you win, send me your email address and I'll send the tickets to you. All right. Hashtag MACA for that. And then we'll do that in a few minutes. Alan?
Yep.
Anytime you're ready, Gary.
Last week, I was remiss in not showing the t-shirt that listener Matt had made for me. And here it is. What camera am I on?
Come on, man.
Come on, man. Pig up.
Pig up.
And what that pertains to, I said something of that nature, and then he ran out and had a t-shirt made.
I believe it was the story about the pigs who fought off the bear who got into their enclosure.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Pig up when you're under attack.
Or the McRib. One of those.
Yeah, there it is. Hashtag MACA if you're in that area and would like to try to win these tickets. And the McCartney years, that's what you're going for here. This is a band, multi-piece band, many pieces in this band that does McCartney's Beatles and Wings and solo songs. And from what I heard in this promo that Jeffrey sent me, they look fabulous.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. So put your hashtag MACA in there. And Alan, tell me when you want to push the button.
Let's give it a few more minutes.
Talk to Ryan first?
Yes, we are going to. Ryan, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing okay. Enjoying the pup. So we got almost 2 weeks in with Sadie, so that's going well. We're trying to keep her off the kitchen table though.
And by puppy, you mean an 80-pound dog?
Yeah, she's 65, but
all right, 65 pounds. You got her from somebody who thought it was a hunting dog and it didn't hunt, so they wanted
she's
to
a failed hunting dog, but we're enjoying her.
So. Good. And Ryan spent time with the guy who discovered the Titanic wreckage in 1985 and was unable to secure an autograph from him. And there's Keith's balsa wood version of the Titanic made by hand and by scratch. And
yes, he was a commencement speaker
in
here
Wisconsin
in
there. Yeah,
so I spent a little bit of time with him, but no autographs were allowed to him. My wife wasn't very happy when I came home, but I got to spend some time with him before the ceremony, so it was nice. He's a very nice man. So Robert Ballard, Dr. Robert Ballard.
Robert Ballard. I was in a restaurant in Malibu, California, a number of years ago, and James Cameron walked by. And this was a few years after Titanic came out. And I was going to ask him how you could go in one of those little subs for 5 hours one way without being super claustrophobic. But then I heard that he's not a nice guy, and I was afraid of him. So I didn't want to say anything.
Well, Dr. Ballard was very nice. He's very, very nice. And he was headed to Hawaii to get on a ship to do more exploring. So he's still got it.
Okay. Do you know when he's coming back to the United States?
I don't.
You see what I did there? I would say you missed it there, Ryan.
I
threw you
did.
Oh,
something.
come on.
I
Come on.
did.
He's in international waters, Gary.
Waters.
Come on.
That's right. That's right.
I also have a couple things that popped up in my Facebook stream this week. Alan, if you want to show the first one, Bentley must be hard up for automobiles because now they're selling kind of trike strollers for a price tag of $5.99. Get them while they last.
Okay, so you take the top part off and it's a tricycle.
Right, like up at the top there, you can see at the top here. But if the kid's too small, you can push them. So if you want to get a Bentley trike for your kid, it's $4.99 while
But
supplies
aren't
last.
regular strollers, a lot of them pricey these days?
They are. But Henry had one of these. I don't know. They were Radio Flyer one that was maybe $80. So he enjoyed those. So they're just as good as the Bentley.
Well, you've got two items here. You've got a stroller and a tricycle.
Yeah,
I don't know,
I
does that add
guess.
up to $500? Not really, but
I guess. And then where you say less?
You've got pedals there, so you've got to make sure that the kid keeps its
Correct.
feet on the pedals as you're pushing it. Otherwise,
Mhm.
they do that thing where their little feet get caught up and start dragging behind, and you break
Yeah.
their ankles.
And you can see the seat
fun.
here. It's diamond stitched, kind of like the car. So you're getting a little luxury there. So.
okay. That's great.
And then I got flipped over. These were the two other things that popped up. Caskets. Apparently, I'm in need of caskets. So
What are the symbols in the different states they're signifying?
that one is the cheapest beer by state, which surprised me. Was Wisconsin. Spotted Cow is a pretty popular, coveted beer here, but apparently it's the cheapest. So those are the order in Wisconsin of cheapest to most expensive beer. And then you can see other states like, towards the Colorado, of course, Coors Light is the cheapest. So that was an interesting infographic. I was surprised that Spotted Cow was.
Okay, and Leslie told us earlier that she has a spotted dick down in the refrigerator.
Right, so you got spotted.
It's in the cabinet. It's a
In the
cabinet.
cabinet, okay.
And then finally, this sums up one last one. This sums up kind of the world. Day drinking. The aliens are day drinking.
Okay. Well, we found the black hole. I don't know what
Right,
that's going
so-
to unleash.
So I thought that was good for the cocktail show.
Yes, it is. And you've actually got a Wisconsin
I
report,
do.
too.
I do.
All right, let's spin that, Alan. It's Wisconsin, yeah, hey.
Hey everyone, it's Ryan. It's finally warm in Wisconsin. We went from cold now to 85-degree weather. And unfortunately this week my office hasn't been air conditioned, so it's been about 90 in there. So it's been a fun week, but I'm glad the cold weather is over. I know Garry talks about all the drug commercials on TV and all the pharmaceutical companies pushing drugs to us. Well, Wisconsin just finished the drug take-back program where you could drop off unused drugs, pills, patches. They collected 59,000 pounds of this, of different stuff that was brought back to the pharmacies. That's quite a bit, thinking about that is how much that was not used, how much has been really used. So, something to think about. Going forward, we've been abusing 911. There was a lady in Waukesha who put $20 on her table. Then she left, and she came back and the $20 was gone. She called 911 saying she needed a magician to come over immediately and get rid of the ghosts that are taking her $20 off her table. Maybe she forgot. Maybe there's someone else living in the house that said, hey, here's a free 20 and took it. Police officers stopped by and reminded her that is not the proper use for 911. If you need a magician, maybe call an entertainment company, not the police. Finally, in Wisconsin, we're seeing the effects of the high gas prices. On Wednesday, we topped the national average for regular unleaded at $4.20 a gallon. I went by a local gas station on the way to work today, and we were at $4.14. So it doesn't look like we've dropped much. So hopefully we can do more walking and biking and stay out of the car. Have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you soon.
911, what's your emergency?
That is a perfect example, that woman that called 911 of a cop show up and taser the bejesus out of her. No questions asked, no paperwork. It's the Third Amendment amended again to cover that.
Done. And she won't need a magician.
Yeah, really. The amount of nonsense that goes on day in and day out. It's amazing that the world rotates and works as as well as it does, with all of the moving parts and idiots out there.
Well, because everybody knows you wouldn't call a magician, you'd call a psychic. God, these people are so stupid.
That's right. Get with the program. Damn it.
And then you can go take your drugs back. I mean, that's a lot of drugs. Those drugs
Okay.
take back.
That story, the reason they're collecting them, you should not flush drugs down the toilet because it gets into the water system.
Right.
That's what they're trying to do, prevent that.
Right. Or flush down the patches and plug up the toilet too. You know, all the fentanyl patches and all of that. But,
okay.
Yeah.
There's a fentanyl patch?
Yeah. You can get fentanyl patches that are time released.
Great. I'm going to have to drink more water.
Oh my God.
Let's do the giveaway, Gary.
I'm getting a message from the control booth. Alan says it's time to do the back of giveaway. Here we go. Hit that button. Buford. I'm still 18. I'm still 8. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm still 8-1. Okay.
Well, send Gary an email.
Yeah. Email me, GarryMeierShow@GarryMeyer.com.
Or the text. There we go.
And I will electronically get you those tickets for tomorrow night. All right?
Cool.
Sounds good. Let's pay homage to the fine sponsors of the GarrForce. What do you say? Bettenhausen Automotive is one. Love them.
Join the Brotherhood of Muscle at Bettenhausen Dodge on 159th Street in Tinley Park. Hurry in right now during the Memorial Day sales event. Get 0% for 36 months on a new, ready-for-action 2022 Dodge Charger. Command attention. Lease a new 2022 Dodge Challenger for $379 per month. All we do is flex. Legendary performance from the Bettenhausen House of Power. Let's get rolling. Your best car buying experience starts now 24/7 at BettenhausenCDJR.com.
All they do is flex. You can't beat that. That's nice. It's high line. All right. And this guy, this is sexy time, David Hochberg. And he gives you good advice about mortgages and refis and VA loans and reverse mortgages and your credit score. Call them for the free consultation on all that. There's the number on the screen. And is the website on there too? 56david.com. Yes.
There.
.com.
Okay.
.com.
Right in the
There it is. And they are great people. David has helped thousands of listeners over the years, and hopefully he and his team can help you. And these are crazy times, and the rate, I think, has been creeping up a bit.
Towards 6. No.
Are you serious, Clark?
Yeah. No, yeah, they're well, it's into the 5s and it's headed towards 6, I think is what I heard last.
Well, see, this is the beauty of David Hochberg. Years ago, he would say when it was 3 and people were still waiting because it might get lower, he would say, don't do that. Right. It's 3. That's a gift. Don't wait. And he's right, because it can go, it's Fugazi. You don't know. So get in while the getting's good. And 6 is still decent.
Well,
my God.
You talk about your first condo was
what? 12 and 3
12?
quarters. 12 and 3 quarters. I refied a couple years later. David Hochberg wasn't around back then, so I didn't have him or his advice. And I refied a couple years later down to 11 and a half, and I thought I won the lottery. And we got through that. So I guess we'll get through this too. Right?
We will. We've got one more giveaway. So before now and the end of the show, if you want to start queuing up to win a condom, because I mean, who doesn't want a condom and a Weakest Link hat? Like I said, it's still got a tag on it. You can be like Johnny and start your hat collection with this hat right here. So
that's right. Look how lovely Johnny's closet is with all those hats in them. I mean, do you want one of those closets? I think you do.
But seriously, think about it. It'd be like Mr. Rogers, how he used to put on the sweater. Johnny would like put on a hat, a traveling hat, and then he would go someplace and then he'd see like Harry Potter and he'd come back with a new Harry Potter hat. And at the end of the show, it would go onto a shelf.
Yes.
Come on, Neil.
Again,
I mean,
TV show opens, tight shot on the closet, rolls back. Johnny at the table, filling out his itinerary. He's going to get on the super bus. That's how he usually travels, where he can go anywhere in the country for $1.99. The bus holds 600 people. It's 4 levels.
And 3 chickens and and
Right. And everything else. And the people that are on the top tier, that's open. There's no roof. And when they're going under an underpass, they have to duck down because there's just a little room. Are we putting, and I like the suggestion from Daniel, should we put hashtag Fugazi?
Oh, is that, or is that,
Or did we
otherwise
already
I
put
was
one
going to
out
go with
there?
hashtag link.
Yeah, that's the one Leslie had me queue up. So
All
that's
right,
what we've
then it's
got.
hashtag link.
And this one we just want folks who haven't won before to play, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Hashtag
So-
link. All
we
one
could
word.
Fugazi next week because I'm pretty sure, these days Fugazi fits just about every scenario.
Yeah. All right. That's right. All right. So Leslie's assembled some stories. Let's dive into those.
I have. First, we're going to talk about Madonna. She's responding to the barrage of criticism she's been receiving over 3 unusually mature NFTs that she debuted this week. The non-fungible tokens are video representations of a 3D naked Madge, spread eagle, and giving birth to butterflies, caterpillars, and trees, leaving almost nothing to the imagination. And while some say it makes her look kind of desperate, she contends that she's just doing what women have been doing since the beginning of time, giving birth. She goes on to explain, quote, on a more existential level, I'm giving birth to art and creativity, and we would be lost without both. All proceeds benefit 3 of Madonna's favorites.
Have
you seen these things?
I haven't seen them. Do you have a visual representation?
No, we probably, we make swears on this podcast, but even I was kind of taken aback.
You've seen it, though.
Madge. Yeah, you can find it just about anywheres out there.
Are NFTs and cryptocurrency, is that Fugazi?
The NFTs definitely seem Fugazi. Crypto, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. Okay.
And what's scary is now the feds are getting into crypto, so I don't know where we're going with that. Lots of comedy venues are ramping up security following the recent attacks on Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle. There's a growing trend of thin-skinned comedy audiences taking umbrage with jokes that probably strike too close to home or something. And rather than just laugh it off or heckle, they're getting physical. In some cases now, clubs are replacing bouncers with armed security guards. And some of the largest venues say they're installing cameras and metal detectors.
Okay. And they got to put the chicken wire up pretty soon, like the Blues Brothers.
Like the Blues Brothers. Come on, folks. It's humor. It's a joke.
Yeah.
Speaking of comedians, we're finding out that just before his death, comedian Norm Macdonald shot a secret stand-up comedy special. Realizing that his prognosis was getting kind of grim, Norm decided to record the material that he had been working on in the months prior, quote, just in case things went south. And sadly, we know they did. Norm Macdonald, Nothing Special, was shot in one take in his living room about a month before his death back in September. You can watch it on Netflix beginning May 30th.
Well, that's interesting, huh?
So I had to look up, do you remember Norm telling a moth joke? It's like one of his most famous appearances on Conan O'Brien.
I kind of remember, yeah.
If you guys get a chance, look it up. It's on YouTube and stuff, but it took me a while because it's a long, it's like 8 minutes of setup about this moth, goes into a podiatrist's office, and the podiatrist says, what's wrong? And he's like, well, my job sucks, and blah, 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 blah. And I've fallen out of my only son. I don't even love him anymore. My daughter, she's whatever. She's, I think she died of a cold or something like this. And it goes on and on and on. And the podiatrist says, dude, you need a shrink. What brought you into a podiatrist office? He said, the light was on.
Okay.
Ba-dum-bum.
There it is. And at that point, somebody's jumping in Norm's living room and beating the shit out of him. If he wasn't dead.
Oh, golly. And let's see. Let's just do this one more. A couple in India are suing their adult son and his wife for their failure to give them a grandchild. Sanjeev and Santha Prasad say they spent their life savings raising their only son, putting him through pilot training, and giving him and his wife a super lavish wedding. And now, 6 years later, they've got nothing to show for it, specifically, no grandbabies. And because of that, they're seeking $650,000 in compensation if no child is conceived within a year. So there is a time frame here. So far, no comment from the son or his wife.
We paid for the elephant at your wedding, and now we have no grandchild. What is the problem?
And he's a pilot besides, so maybe he's got a career in radio.
There you go. All right.
Hashtag link, kids.
That's it?
I think that's it.
How much of your drink is left? And I'm getting some encouragement from Scott. Kill that drink, Garry.
Somebody, oh lordy.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody wanted to know what kind of bourbon you use. Is there a specific?
What is it? You know, if it
It's
was
hard to
earlier in the
remember
show,
now.
I'd remember. But I'll
but
have
he
all
still
that.
has the Luxardo cherry. That's we're seeing that. That's
the
down there.
prize at the end of the drink. That cherry. Oh boy, when you do it all at the end here, oh my God.
The what? Hashtag link, everybody. Get him while you can.
Wow, wow, wow. The queue is ready for the condom and the hat, I believe.
I think so.
Oh, woo! I think, all right, Rosemary said.
It gave him a chill.
Rosemary said Jim Beam. I think it is, but at this point, I can't remember, but I'll confirm next week. All right, Alan, hit that button. Donald, he wins the condom and the cap.
It's all yours, Donald.
That sounds like a Dr. Seuss book. The condom.
Donald, go ahead and send a private message to Garry on Facebook or text or email. Let's see if I got the text and the email scroll going by. There we go. Email Garry Meier Show at GarryMeier.com. Text 773-888-2157. Regular charges may apply.
All right.
And Leslie, somebody had asked if you can autograph it. I don't know if Donald wants that, but Donald, if you want that, include that in the message.
Oh, yeah.
Sure. I'd be happy to.
She's
I
not
think
Robert.
I even have a silver Sharpie. Here
She's not Robert Ballard. She signs autographs, okay?
Exactly. Yeah. I just heard that Garth Brooks once stayed around after a concert for something like 8 hours so that he could sign every autograph request. I mean, that's the kind of service you want from a performer.
Penn and Teller wait around longer after their show than their show most nights, although they're not doing it in this post-pandemic period yet, but they're in the pre-pandemic period. Penn said, I think their longest was 3 or 4 hours of staying out there.
See, I believe in that. And Robert Ballard, I know you got to catch a plane and all that, but I don't know. It's just part of the game you're in. Why can't you do it? I know Ringo went into a whole thing. Do not send me anything. Do not stop me on the street. I'm never signing another autograph. If you send me anything, it will be tossed. And I saw him walking down the street in Chicago years ago, and Ringo. And he has this whole thing where he doesn't want you to approach. Hey, Ringo, peace, love. And he just keeps walking. So there's that don't even try to talk to me atmosphere. And I know it's a Beatle and he'd be swamped, but God damn it. If it wasn't for that, you wouldn't be a star.
Well,
Ringo.
so maybe this is why there is a Paul McCartney show at the Arcada Theater instead of a Ringo Starr show at the Arcada Theater.
Ooh,
I'm
roasted.
not saying, I'm just saying.
Roasted. And for those of
Peace
you
and love.
who don't know who Ringo is, you're going to have to Google it. All right? We're just trying to be a Ted Lasso kind of show. I think now that I've watched some Ted Lasso, I want to be that. Whatever that atmosphere is. I think that's what I'm shooting for because the show is so enjoyable and it just feels good at the end as opposed to Ozark where I'm like, shit.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on.
Oh, you got to run. You're doing a play?
I'll be right back.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the Ted Lasso experience has been very pleasant. The Ozark experience, I'm not real happy with the way it ended. And if you're still watching it, turn the volume down a little bit. I believe they're going. What's that?
It's a
Oh,
Roy Kent jersey.
okay. That's the guy who's featured as a soccer player in Ted Lasso. Did you buy that, or did Matt
Oh, hell
make
yeah.
that for you?
No, we bought this.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he is so hot.
Oh,
So I
easy.
make my husband dress up like Roy Kent, and then he kicks
So you
me
don't
around
you
the
don't
bedroom a
subscribe to the
couple of
view that
times.
you don't subscribe to the view that he's just a CGI creation of the producers?
No, and he's funny as shit. He's actually one of the writers. He is a comedian, and he's the least comedic looking human on the planet. He looks like he's dangerous.
He's a comedian in real life.
Oh my gosh, he's one of the creators and like key comedians for that show.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
Let me get this straight. You're cheating on Aaron Rodgers now with him?
Well, you know, a girl's got to have options.
Wow. Wow. Woo. Okay. I'll tell you what, now that I've chugged the rest of the drink, I will not be driving for a while.
No.
Mm-mm.
Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah. I got the googly eyes going in real life. All right. Anything? Somebody said we should stay an extra 10 minutes. I mean,
Well, we give you a few here, but
no, yeah. You got more stuff?
I have one more story? If you, I mean,
Yeah,
seriously,
throw it
you
on
want
the
to stick
fire.
around?
Yeah, throw it
Did
on
you
the
eat
fire.
the cherry yet?
That's what she said. Here we go. Let me get that. Oh, this Luxardo cherry. Oh my God, Luxardo cherries. I want to be their spokesmodel. Oh my God. Mm.
So, last story, kids. Vogue magazine has sent a cease and desist letter to a pub in Cornwall that bears the same name as the publication. The Star Inn at Vogue in the town of Vogue has been in business for about 200 years. The first Vogue magazine wasn't published until about 90 years later, but the folks at Condé Nast are undeterred. They contend that the people might make an incorrect connection between the bar and the magazine, and they want to nip the issue in the bud. The owner of the pub calls the cease and desist letter hilariously funny, and in a response letter, he writes, "In answer to your question whether we would change our name, it is a categorical no."
I like that. Who was there first?
The pub, damn
Yes.
it. And the town. I mean, it's in the town of Vogue. So
I mean, really, do you need to go and fight that? The magazine? Do you really need to do that?
well, and at that point it makes Vogue the magazine look a little desperate. Just chill, everybody.
Putin, do you need Ukraine? Do you need really
Seriously.
Ukraine in your repertoire, in your portfolio, you motherfucker?
It turns out
That's the alcohol speaking.
Warning, this discussion is going to get quite graphic.
I
Word
meant,
is that
I
he's,
meant
like,
just to say
stealing-
fucker. You fucker.
Exactly. There you go. So it turns out Putin apparently is like taking Garmins out of people's cars and putting them in his military vehicles because they're running low on supplies. So, dude, just call it.
Really?
Please just call
All
it.
right. And just, yeah, wrap it up. You're an asshole. Just take what land you have in your 500-foot yacht and billions of dollars and call it a day. My God. This is why a USA residency is the best residency. I'm liking this more and more.
And even if you go to Hawaii, you say, "I'm going home to the USA."
USA, USA, USA. Okay? Yeah. And they say he's sick, that Putin's sick.
Yeah,
Karma.
supposedly.
Let's hope that he is sick and dies soon. Karma.
Well, but this is where, like, when we had the Husseins, you kind of wonder what's in their closet on standby. Like, maybe we don't want an Uday and Kusei taken over after all this. So I don't know. It's going to be hard.
This is why we do the cocktail show. What if we stay on for another 2 hours and just ramble on and people start going, oh my God, they're so fucked up. And they're just rambling and they're still on. They leave. They leave. They go out to dinner. They come back. We're still on.
At this point, we're crying. Man, I love you.
Yeah.
You guys are the best. Ryan, man, I love you so
Okay.
much.
Full disclosure, in
Alan's
that
so awesome.
pre-show gathering that we do, we got into this. I was talking about the Wolf of Wall Street. It was set in 1980, and I started to get nostalgic for those years because they were so incredible for a lot of us who were enjoying all kinds of things. And that's what we got to put back into the mix. We've lost that fizz of let's have a good time, and it can be reintroduced, but it's all bullshit now. It's all bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. And we got to get back to that. I'm not saying all the drug usage, but there was an atmosphere of we're having a good time.
Well, optimism. It's that whole optimism thing, and like the music changed, and it was, and that had a more optimistic feel, and so we need some hopium right now.
Yeah, I want to just and this is one of my ideas that you were talking about. I throw them out there, and I don't know where they go.
Once again, the containal store.
The containal. For those of us who are super anal, it's the containal store. Everything you need to clean. In fact, I'll have a 40. Here, listen to this, Leslie. Here's a concept about that. I'm going to have, remember 45s? And some people are going, what's a 45? My daughter, when she got the turntable, I said, oh, you have a turntable. I'll get my 45s out. What's a 45? A 45 is up against my head right now. Yeah, that's what a 45 is.
Put the gun down.
Yes, exactly. And I just lost my train of thought. I don't even know what I was going to say.
Containal store, you had another idea.
Oh, the nursing homes for the 21st century, where it's the baby boomers are not going to go into nursing homes like our parents and grandparents did. It's going to be a party atmosphere. And I've listed what that's going to be. All the rooms have screen doors because you like to hear the slam of a screen door. You have marijuana dispensaries. You have an animal show every week where you can sit in your room and look through the screen door and animals parade up and down the hallway, right?
Llamas, goats, the whole thing.
Yes, super squirters, squirt gun fights.
Right.
There's no way that the baby boomers are going to go into that the way our parents and grandparents did. Not going to happen. Not going to do it. No way am I going into what if I am incapacitated, I'm partying all the way out. That's it. And I think this idea is going to manifest itself in some way. Somebody's going to go and start making these places.
Okay, fine. Maybe a little pickleball action, but it still has to be cooler than it. It starts with the smell.
Yeah.
And while we will have, the marijuana dispensary, I'm thinking got to do something about the smell for starters.
Yeah. That smell when you walk in, it just knocks you out. And that's why I've been nostalgic when I see Wolf of Wall Street for those years when everything was kind of humming and people were kind of getting along and everything was going in the right direction. And yeah, there was some back and forth about politics and whatnot, but it wasn't so toxic. I mean, we found some common ground and we just went, hey, we have a short dance here. Let's enjoy it. We're in the right country as far as everything pretty much going right. And we've lost that. And I'm using radio as my calibration, where radio took a turn and it was here's how it was defined. And I think this is true. It was a high school with money. And make that your template, high school with money. Use that as your overview of what we should be doing. And remember, high school with money. And that's how you go about life. Yes, the older I get, the more I want to have a good time, not the reverse, because you don't know how much time you have left. The back nine, we're on the back, at least I am. I'm on the back nine. I'm not going to go and, oh my God, I can't. I won't. I won't
do it.
Won't do it.
People are now talking about double beaver. So, okay, yes, we realize that there's some continuity issues with Wheel of Fortune bad, double beaver good.
Mm-hmm.
But once again, we're just kind of we're spitballing. We're working this.
Glad you brought that up. Here's how I started my day. Flynn jumped on the bed. Time to take him out. Took him out. Came back. Turned the coffee machine on, okay? Sat down, did a double beaver. Put me in a good mood. 1963 is the episode area they're in right now. 1963.
So they're still like little kids.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, it's the last year of the show. This is the final season. Yeah. So Wally's about 17, 18,
Oh
and
my. Okay.
Theodore Beaver is 4 or 5 years younger. Now we've heard the news in the last few weeks that Tony Dow Wally has cancer, and now I'm watching the show and thinking he doesn't know that 50 years down the road, this is how his life's going to be, and that's what goes on in my head when I watch these shows. So that aside from that, the whole show puts me in a good mood. I think about 1963. We were moving from the south side of Chicago to the southwestern suburbs of Chicago right at this time, right? And we moved from the city to the suburbs, and the suburbs were like moving to the moon, being in the city where everything's close and you got a lot of things going on, to the suburbs where things are wide open. And that was a transition for me, but I enjoyed it after a while. So I started thinking about that, and you start thinking about all the other things that have happened over the years. It's just a natural feeling of where are we? What's
Wasn't that? That was the space race. So those were pretty
Right.
optimistic. Although, were we shaking off the Kennedy assassination?
Well, this is okay. The Beaver episode today was April of 1963. So the Kennedy assassination is still several months away.
Oh, okay.
Now the show ended, not that they would address this, because they didn't address anything
No.
topical of that nature. They are going to be over in a few months, and then a few months later, Kennedy's assassinated, and then some people are going, "Who's Kennedy?" I understand that. Okay, that's 60 years ago, but they say that a lot of things have not been right since that 60 years ago. That we are still dealing with that because it was so bizarre, right?
Yeah, no, we've got plenty of bizarre. I guess what we're pretty much saying is that we go through these periods. It gets super bizarre, but you gotta be a little optimistic, and then it'll all come back around.
And I want to tell some people, go to dinner, come back. We're still going to be here in 2 hours. 2 hours later. What the?
Dude, I love you so much.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Remember that bed you had back then?
Yeah.
Tell them about the airplane bed you had back then.
We didn't talk. We talked about that in the pre-show, right?
Yes, we did.
Okay. All right. I'm going to talk about it.
Are you? You guys asked for 10 minutes. Well, look, 13.
Yeah.
Woo,
And we're not
going.
done yet. So in the pre-show, I don't know how we stumbled on this, but no, I don't know. I don't remember. Okay. But it got to the point of, I had this bed made a number of years ago by this artist because I'm into aviation. I had him make an airplane bed. And by that, I mean the headboard and the footboard had propellers, and it was little airplanes hanging on the headboard, and it was a whole thing. And then he made, because the frame was so high, and then when you put the mattresses on there, you needed stairs to get to the mattress. So he made these stairs, and then you could open the stairs, you could pull the stairs up and store stuff. Well, my radio partner at the time, when I told him about this, said, "Oh, here's what you should put in those stairs. You should put little bags, little gift bags that say, 'I had sex with Garry Meier,' as a joke." Well, the guy that made the bed made those bags, and when he delivered the bed and the stairs, he goes, "Oh, open the stairs." And there are all these little bags. "I had sex with Garry Meier," with toothbrushes and stuff. Okay?
Got it.
Yeah, I still have
And
the
you
bed.
had a cleaning lady.
And I had a cleaning. Okay, so then I hired my future wife. She wasn't my wife then. We lived in the same building, and she told me about this cleaning lady she had. And I said, "Oh, I could use a cleaning lady." Not that I messed anything up. But anyway, I was out of town, so she brought the cleaning lady down to my apartment to show her what she'd be cleaning. And she goes into the bedroom, and there's the airplane bed, and the woman goes, "Oh my God, what the hell is this?"
You
Yeah.
sick SOB, man.
Yeah, I don't. Okay,
So
so
did she stock the bags for you?
yeah, right. She replaced the bags every week. Right. Oh my God. And now my daughter's seen this bed. I don't know if she's going to ever want it. Maybe if she has kids, they'll go, "That was our grandfather's? He's my grandfather? He had an airplane bed?" Oh my God.
And if we did ask, is it a twin? No. Is it a full? No, it is.
It's a
It
queen.
was a queen. Okay.
It's a
there you
killer
go.
queen. Yeah. Killer queen. Okay, that's what I was talking about. Okay. My apartment, if you saw it back in the day. I was into, I don't know what, I had a weird dynamic as far as decorating. In the bedroom, I had the airplane bed, and then I had these Batman chairs. They were black, and they had this black fabric, this big black fabric, and then a little stool. And I called those the Batman chairs. And then I had a pedestal in the living room, and I had this little guy that was looking up to the ceiling. Okay, I had a lot of stuff, but I was Pee Wee Herman light. That's what I was doing.
Now, do you have a man cave? Are you in a man cave?
I guess I have a little corner where I do this.
Should you maybe bring some of this stuff out and, like
Yeah,
trick
well.
out your man cave a little bit?
Oh,
'Cause
we
it
were
seems
talk-
like guys go full circle. When we first got married, my husband had stuff like his Marx Brothers statue, and he's like, "Yes, this will be prominently featured in our new home." And I went, "Yeah, good luck.
Yeah.
Not gonna happen."
Yeah, that's what happened when my future wife went through the apartment, and I had the Batman chairs, and then I had this dresser that I described as a Rocketeer. This movie Rocketeer came out, and it looked like a Rocketeer. And this is a guy thing, so and when you're getting married, your style might not mesh as much. But what I can do to your
the
point,
Addams Family meets the Cleavers.
yes,
pretty
what I
much
can do to your point is the only thing as far as collections go, I have a desk with a hutch, and I've got a bunch of stuff in that hutch that I could run some video on and maybe show next week of what's in there. Some Pez dispensers and stuff like that.
You always had an eclectic arrangement of stuff on your desk when we were working together.
Yes,
there
a
were
lot
like
of
little airplanes,
tchotchke.
and I had to look with my eyes and not my hands because I would want to touch those things,
Yeah.
but I knew nah.
You know where that came from, Leslie? I had an aunt who, when I went over to her place, she had a dresser and she had all these little things on the top of the dresser. And I was so enamored with all those things that I must have picked up on that. And I have little things now because I remember how pleasant that was as a kid to go and see what little things she had on her dresser. And here's the other thing. I had a paper route. I don't know if those are even in existence anymore. I delivered papers, and she was on my route, and she had okay, here we go. Before that, when I was about 5.
I love you, man.
We're
so
very
cool.
close to that.
Go to dinner.
Go to dinner, come back in 2 hours, we're still here. So I'm about 5, and we go to a department store, and I'm going down the escalator, and she fell and hurt her back. And from that point on, she had a real bad back problem. So when I had the paper route, she lived on the second floor of this 2-flat. And when I would go to collect money for the papers, what I would do is ring her bell. Then I'd come out from underneath the awning, and she'd open the window on the second floor and drop the money down. That was a thing. Yeah, it was like a thing. And she also had the collection. And so I was very close to her. And all those memories are solid in my head as far as that whole existence in the early part of my life. So that's why I have
And
little
that's
collections.
where you have, but you don't have a giant collection. You don't
No,
have
no,
a
no.
Johnny
I can't. No,
closet
I don't
of
like
cat
giant. I
kind of-
like just contained in the hutch in my desk. That's it. That's all I need.
Well, I think we're all looking forward to next week. If you want to share a little bit,
I'll
of
roll
that,
some vid, and then Ryan sent me the Schnauzer key ring.
there you
There
go.
it is. There it is. All right.
And
Got
we'll
that
have more
going.
giveaways and all sorts of stuff for you next week.
Oh,
Who
my
knows
God.
what we'll do by next week?
Yeah. Who knows? We've got to get through tonight. I mean, at this point, I'm wobbly.
But he's not driving. Once again, he is not driving.
This is the longest live show we've ever done. And then Alan sent me something about we're coming up on the 100th live show. What was that, Alan?
Yeah, this week is the 100th show we've posted on Fridays, but because 2 of them were pre-taped, the Christmas special and the Christmas special rerun, the episode after next, so next week will be the 20th, the 27th will be the 100th live show we've done.
Ooh, Papa.
And then the following week is the beginning of season 3.
Season 3.
Season 3.
All new season.
You don't have to wait
if you
2.5
notice,
years for it. Yeah.
No, and if you notice, I added 2 microphones when we went to season 2 on the screen. You see how the background's got the 2 microphones behind you? I haven't decided what the background for season 3 will be yet.
Wow, you are subtle and
very, very
no,
subtle.
I did not know that.
Season 1,
Wow.
the GarrForce logo in the upper corner, for those who've been eagle-eyed, was not purple. It was blue, but I don't have it loaded anymore.
Oh my God. Oh
There
my
you
God.
go.
It was
You know,
it was
in the
this color blue.
future, people are going to be looking at this, and there will be chat rooms, and there
Yeah.
will be fan pages all about it. But anyway,
Yeah. In 100 years, they're going to see this somewhere and go, what the fuck was going on then?
Oh yeah.
Yap. Anybody could do this shit.
Scott said, is that the aunt in New York? No, that's a different aunt. That's the one where I was at her apartment, staying at her apartment, and she was there with her boyfriend, and I had to make big potty, and they only had one bathroom, and it was close to the living room, and they were sitting watching television. And I have a very weird thing about that. So I said abruptly, I have to go sightseeing, and left. And this was my first trip to New York, and I'm thinking, okay, here's what I know about New York, living in Chicago: Statue of Liberty, okay, Grand Central,
take a boat to get there.
Grand Central Station, and Empire State Building. The Statue of Liberty was out because, I won't make it. I won't take a ferry. I'll never make it. I figured Grand Central Station was my best bet. So I jump in a cab, get there. And this is when they had, going to have to Google this, pay toilets. You had to put a dime in to activate the door to open. I'm at Grand Central Station. My God. And knowing me, you can imagine how freaked out I was.
Did you just climb under? No,
I paid the dime, but it was,
okay.
Oh my God. I'm in Grand Central Station doing big potty, hard lemonade, whatever you call it. That was equivalent to the story I've told about being in San Diego. We were doing our show in San Diego, and on the last day, everybody got rid of their rooms and came to my room to get ready to go to the airport. And before that, we went and had Chinese food, and we get back to the hotel room, and I'm thinking, oh, Jesus, no. So you know how small these rooms are. So now I'm in the bathroom, and I'm running the faucets and the shower, and I'm trying to muffle
You're
the
singing
sound.
everything from Cats.
Yes,
to try to
exactly.
cover.
And lighting matches, and yeah. Oh, really? Those are the things that happen to me where I think, how does this work? How does this happen? Why?
Kids, should we call it? Should we bring it in?
Karen, wait a minute. Karen wants to know about the chocolate bar I sat on. That's another New York
save
story.
That for another. Oh God.
No, we're going to be on 2 more hours. We got an hour and a half.
Oh shit! Well,
I'm in
gonna
New
get
York.
Fresh in my drink now.
We're going down to. They have an aircraft carrier that's a museum, and so we're going to see the aircraft carrier. And I jump in a cab, and I get out, and we're standing in line to get on the aircraft carrier. And I turn around, and my daughter goes, "You're not going to like this." And I'm thinking, "Son of a bitch." And I said, "What?" She goes, "You have a bunch of brown stuff on your pants." I'm thinking, "What is it?" Apparently, it was the imprint of a Hershey bar. Somebody left a Hershey bar in the taxi. And so my mother-in-law, God bless her, she sees it. And we go over to this picnic table by a little concession stand, and she gets some water and some napkins. And I'm standing there, and she's wiping my ass with the water and the napkins. And thinking, yeah, there you go. Yeah, woo! Yeah, baby. All right, I got a million of them. Oh my God. Hour and a half to go.
I think I needed this. Happy Friday the 13th,
I
everybody.
got to say, Leslie,
to shake it off.
that I came into the day with, you know what? I really need to blow out some steam and get into a mindset that's all good. I can't take any more bullshit. I really can't. It's just out there, and I don't want to tap into it.
You know, I used to play politics the way people play sports, and I just can't do it anymore because I honestly thought that there was an end game, and then
No.
you realize no. So with that, yeah, it's sometimes better just to let
Happy
it
idiot.
flow. Yeah,
Soft
you got
pretzel. Soft
you
pretzel,
bet.
happy idiot, Ted Lasso. That's what the mix is. That's what you
Warm
want to
weather.
do.
Yep.
Warm weather. Enjoy the day. Not worth getting all crazy about.
No. Do
Ken
something nice for
Rakowski, did you
somebody.
see
No,
who's
I'm
on
not
there?
going to tell you to do shit like
My
that.
good
but
friend
what?
Ken Rakowski is on there. He said that I've had 10 Red Bulls. No. I just had one Manhattan. No. Ken, you know me. I would not do 10 Red Bulls. No. I just need one drink. I'm an easy drunk. I'm very good that way.
You know, it makes it more affordable if you can keep it like balanced, then yeah. Woohoo!
All right. Do we have anything else?
I think I've shot my yeah, there you go.
You did? You
My
shot
shot. I'm not giving away another shot. I'm not giving
All right. Go down and get your spotted dick and enjoy the evening. Here's the cannoli. Take it. It's complimentary. What about the schnauzer, Leslie?
You know what? Take it to St. Charles and you know, give it some McCartney at the Arcada.
Okay.
If you can.
All right.
No.
It's my schnauzer.
I forgot about my schnauzer. It's
Can
been
you see my schnauzer? There it is. All right. What?
Don't turn it into an NFT like Madonna did.
No.
How's
Don't do that. All right. Thanks for listening. We're back on Monday, and then next week we do this again because we reward ourselves as we should. Take the cannoli. You did that. You got the schnauzer. 3 in the green. Gear is down. The flaps are down. The GarrForce has landed.
If you like that, I got other stuff I think you're going to like. This is the GarrForce